Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. Mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Wednesday is my bad joke day. Oh my God, this is really bad. A priest, a minister, and a rabbi are talking about whether or not they have to increase their congregations. And sometimes you proselytize, sometimes just whoever shows up, you take it. And they said, listen, we've been in this game a long time. Let's do something really challenging. So what do you think? Let's see if we can try to convert a grizzly bear. Well, that sounds crazy. All right, let's do it. So first the priest comes out. He's away for a long time or a short time, whatever time it takes in these stories. And then he comes back and he has the bear like on a leash, like a dog. He said, what happened? He says, unbelievable. I just made the sign of the cross over him, gave him a wafer, and gave him communion, and he laid down like he was a puppy dog. Now he's part of the fold. Fantastic. Then the minister goes out. He's gone for a long time or a short time, whatever time it takes these stories, and he comes back, and he's riding on the bear like it's a horse. He says, what happened to you? He says, well, I opened up the Holy Writ, and I just preached the Sermon on the Mount to him, and he became as docile as a baby fawn. And now he's part of the congregation. This is great. Now the rabbi goes out. He's gone for a god-awful long time. When he comes back, he's bandaged from head to foot. He has his arm in a sling. He has a cast on his other arm. He's walking like this. And he says, what the hell happened to you? He says, well, now I realize in retrospect, I shouldn't have started with the circumcision. Okay, let's moving right along. All right, so my journaling question for elevating the conversation. I love this one. Number one, if money was no object, what would you be doing with your life? And where's your affiliation? Like if you were so rich that, like one of those catch-22s, you have to spend $25 million giving $1 million each to your favorite charity or wherever you feel it's worthy before we can give you unlimited amount of money for you to do with whatever you want. So here's the twofold question. Number one, if money was no object, what would you be doing with your life? And can you write down 25 different charities or places where your heart is touched, where if you could give them $1 million each, then you'll see where your affinities lie. Let me know what you're doing with that. All right, I accept that I look back at my life and there's a reason why I did what I did, how I created what I created. I might have assumed in my early years I had dealt with all those issues, but the truth is mostly I didn't. And I just had to look into areas where I was stuck, blocked. Where did I prevent myself from going ahead? And I learned to improve the flow of my life. And the way I did it, of course, was through yoga. Yoga posits an exquisitely balanced state between action and rest. It reflects qualities from within and without, from above and below, and it builds in yourself feelings of freedom, liberation, and even infinity. You learn that breathing is a spiritual strength, a source of spiritual strength, and that when you do it, it causes your energy to flow more abundantly. So in general, yoga provides a set of conditions where the likelihood of peak experiences and self-actualization is much greater. My teacher says posture is like a mandala. It's a form that has a center and radiates lines equally from that center. And so your own posture is a dwelling place for this kind of equanimity and symmetry. But you have to awaken your intelligence, and you have to ask yourself questions that probe into your own anatomy, and of course, probes into your own mind as well. And there, what you learn is the self with a capital S, not your personality, not your inner self, but the energy which informs your very life itself, is the prior existing being, out of which your own ego evolves. And everyone's unconscious, go back in evolutionary history, there was a time when we weren't so self-reflexively aware. The unconscious, at least the part that we're not conscious of, is the prefiguration of your ego, and it bridges to the surface in the form of images. Jung called it the archetypal images. These are portraits of instincts that have adapted themselves over years, over millennia, and they prove their survival worth. And it bridges in communication to the surface with pictures, dreams, fantasies, mythology, poetry. That's why I always tell people you got to look at the psychological relevance to these things and not completely project it outside of yourself, looking for one-to-one historical or literal interpretation. All right, so what does our psychologist brothers and sisters have to tell us? The pity party is a total waste of time. Okay? Each one of us has an unstoppable will to go forward when you learn how to tap into it, and each one of us can learn to take action no matter how frightened we might be at other levels. We all want to give ourselves over to something greater than ourselves. We all have something within us that wants to be connected to everybody. You just have to go deep enough to find it. So, mythology, as I've studied it, teaches you to have an appreciation for that state of being that confirms our own deep nature, which is the wonder of the world. That's what awakens your humanity. You see a connection to everything. Interconnectedness, that's what yoga is all about. So it's the transformation of what I call the wasteland. What's the wasteland? Where contending political parties are. That's the wasteland. The real social problem is opening your eyes and heart to the wonder of the world that we live in. That would regenerate you and immediately put you on the side of right action. So as we wrap it up for today, I always like to give my little tips for how I use affirmation, the power of positive thinking. You could call it self-hypnosis. You call it self-talk. You could call it neuroscience, the cutting edge of neuroscience. But the law of attraction simply says that which is like unto itself is drawn. That we don't create by accident or default. So this world, this virtual world in your imagination, we have freedom and dominion to think anything you want. What it tells you is what you believe and allow and expect is. You don't believe it, you cut yourself off from it. So there's no childish or lame excuses or pretenses that will change this law. This is no rubber law that can be bent or twisted so that it's different for you. It's the same for everybody. Sow a thought, reap an experience. So remember, even though we've learned to multitask, you can only do one thing at a time. So keep your attention in the present moment, in the place where your body is right now, and begin from there. Have a great day.